He does come and go on a rainbow. Michael Snyder, everybody. How about it for Michael Snyder? What's up, Michael Snyder?
I may not be Michael Shore, but I am sure Michael. Anyway, I'm still
well,
chilling.
Happy New Year, my friend. This is your last big. Are you you're a vinyl record guy, aren't you?
I have had in my purview over 15,000 vinyl discs. I had to winnow them down for reasons I will not get into, but I still have a couple thousand. And yes, the sound on a good turntable with a clean and sparkly maintained vinyl record is superior to that of a CD, but I find the convenience of CDs and the increasingly superior sound range quite satisfying. And let's be frank, I'll even listen to stuff on YouTube, good old YouTube.
Yeah.
So
no, me too. Yeah, I know you. Yeah, exactly. Purview is a ding word, by the way. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not a stickler. I'm still chilling at my holiday chalet. And yes, Happy New Year to you, Marky T, to Kim, Albert, and Tony. And especially to the thoughtful, devoted, and generous folks in the Mark Thompson Show audience. May you never get too old to forget the Lang Syne, whatever that is. I don't even know what that is. Anyway, let's get down to some movie reviews, shall we?
Let's get down. What about this Tom Hanks movie? I love Tom Hanks.
Well, back in 2015, a Swedish dramedy with the title A Man Called Ove was released. It was based on a best-selling novel about an unapologetically misanthropic old man making life miserable for all of his neighbors on a block of modest homes. The immigrants who move in across from the Grouch earn his ire in particular, and the interactions between that family and the elderly bastard are at the heart of the story, bringing kind of comedy and darker revelations that ground the whole enterprise, which becomes genuinely moving despite the comedic aspects. I mean, I guess it was inevitable that an English language remake would have to happen. I just didn't expect it to star Tom Hanks as the old man named Otto here rather than Ove. Okay, so it's been a while since I saw A Man Called Ove, but A Man Called Otto, directed by the veteran Mark Forster, seemed like one of those copies of a copy that lose resolution on a Xerox machine that needs servicing. I mean, it's not bad, mind you. And Hanks is pretty good playing against his nice guy type. And this is certainly leagues better than his lazy Mario meets Chef Boyardee take on Geppetto in Disney's remake of their own version of Pinocchio earlier this year. Mariana Trevino, as the pregnant Hispanic wife and mother living across the way from Otto's house, delivers a solid, likable turn. My only question is, why make this when it's not going to be as pungent as the Swedish version? And I got one more question. If you can read and understand English subtitles, why don't you seek out A Man Called Ove and watch that instead of A Man Called Otto? A Man Called Otto is in select New York and Los Angeles theaters today. We have a number of LA listeners. It's opening wide on January 13th.
Okay, so a meh on that. All right.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, how about moving on to one of my favorite movies of the year.
Oh, by the way, pungent. Thank you. Pungent is a ding word. Yeah, go ahead.
Of course, we have to do that. Anyway, this movie is on my best of 2022 list, which will be available in the January issue of the Marina Times at newsstands over the next couple of days and available online at marinatimes.com. This film is called Broker, and it's the latest from the exceptional Japanese director Hirokazu Koreeda. This guy has made a string of brilliant and sometimes tear-jerking movies about families lost and found, with particular attention to the tenuous relationships between children and adults. Two of his prior efforts, 2004's Nobody Knows and 2018's Shoplifters, are among the most shattering on-screen experiences in memory. Okay, set in South Korea, not Japan, Broker is a drama about a pair of scam artists selling orphaned or unwanted babies to desperate parents who are incapable of having kids of their own or want to get around the bureaucratic tangle of legal adoption. Meanwhile, frustrated police detectives are trying to nail the sometimes cunning and sometimes heedless baby brokers. So there are moments of whimsy, mostly thanks to the children, whose guilelessness is as charming as it is heartbreaking. And as you'd suspect, there are deeply troubling aspects to the situation as well as tension. Broker finds Correa delivering another poignant winner. Oh, such a terrific film. It's in select theaters this weekend.
The films that guy does are amazing. I saw Shoplifters, and it was really powerful. Yeah,
and Orphaned Babies. That that kind of, you grab me right there.
I'm telling you, flat out, nobody knows. At the end of Nobody Knows, I get choked up at films occasionally. I had a couple tears rolling down my cheeks from Nobody Knows, released in 2004. And again, yes, it's in Japanese with subtitles. This is largely in Korean with subtitles. I don't care. This is one of the best films of 2022, and this guy Correa is a master. Speaking of,
wait, I will ding tenuous, please, and I will ding guilelessness. That will come on. That's it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
and
okay.
I will ding poignant. Don't interrupt me when I'm dinging you. How dare you? On the last show of the year. Poignant is a ding word too, please. All right, go ahead, Mike.
Sort of more colorful vocabulary. I'm doing my part.
Why are you yelling?
Okay, all right.
Speaking of directors that I am, a fan of, Noah Baumbach. I count myself as a fan of his movies. He's a very droll and iconoclastic screenwriter-director, but he didn't knock me out with White Noise. I mean, I loved his 2019 drama Marriage Story, which co-starred Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson as a couple on the rocks. It was nominated for a Best Picture Academy Award, and actually it choked me up, not as much as Nobody Knows, but it did choke me up. And I thought that Baumbach's first Oscar-nominated movie in 2005, The Squid and the Whale, was a revelation, but I was not as enamored of White Noise, even if Baumbach is reunited with Driver as his male lead and brings in Greta Gerwig, who is the filmmaker's partner and frequent collaborator, as his female lead. I expect it wasn't an easy task to adapt Don DeLillo's acclaimed stream of consciousness novel about a feckless college professor, his fragile wife, and his blended family, whose small town in the heartland is impacted by a nearby industrial accident. I mean, we're introduced to faculty members, their rivalries and hierarchies on campus. Driver's Jack Gladney character, get ready, he's a professor of Hitler studies, which wasn't particularly funny in this context. And I like a good Hitler joke. Everybody likes a good Hitler joke. His colleague, played by Don Cheadle, teaches a course about Elvis Presley and likens the appeal of Elvis to Adolf. Jack's family.
There's never been anything like this.
Yeah, right. That's for sure. Yeah.
The laughter that you're emitting was more than I, laughed in the entire movie. Anyway, so Jack's family seems to be imploding, and then things get crazier as an airborne toxic event heads for the town. Although the movie is set in 1984, the peril seems quite topical in a world that's still being assaulted by mutating viruses. For all the frenzy that eventually erupts, White Noise all too often seemed as dry as a pedantic lecture by some droning academic. The attempts at humor.
Wow.
The attempts at humor were clumsy. Even absurd moments felt flat instead of bracing. On the other hand, there is a new song by LCD Sound System that runs over the end credits, and it is a banger. In fact, I thought it was the best and most exciting thing about Baumbach's White Noise. White Noise was in theaters for a bit, and now it's on Netflix. You can check it out for your own self if you have a subscriction.
Maybe you can just fast forward to the end to hit the music.
Yeah, it sounds like not worth necessarily checking out. Droll, I will ding. Iconoclastic, I'll ding. Enamored, I'll ding. I'll ding feckless. And I will ding pedantic. You're finishing strong. Pedantic is a clean ding word. Come on. Okay, moving on. Let's go.
I love this filmmaker, so I'm a little disappointed. Okay, there have been various live-action versions of Matilda. the well-loved book about an abused little girl with extraordinary intellect who was sent to an oppressive school run by a vindictive headmistress. In case you don't know, the novel Matilda was written by the mordantly witty author Roald Dahl, best known for giving the world Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But Matilda has great charm as well. I like the 1996 Matilda movie, which was directed by Danny DeVito and featured him and his wife Rhea Perlman as Matilda's nasty parents. And Mara Wilson in that version was an endearing Matilda. But the new version has delights of its own. It's called, by the way, Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical. Yeah, it's a movie musical adapting the successful production from the West End Theatrical District, which is London's Broadway. The songs written by Tim Minchin mix pop with wordplay that has kind of a British music hall operetta flair. And the cast is just super, starting with the wee wise behind her eyes and wise beyond her years, Alicia Ware as Matilda, and continuing with the always awesome Stephen Graham, who played Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire, and Andrea Riseborough as Matilda's loutish, materialistic parents, Lashana Lynch from No Time to Die as the kid's only caring, supportive teacher, and most memorably, Emma Thompson as the cruel, eminently hissable school headmistress, Miss Trunchbull, a grotesque villainess for the ages. As the book-loving, sharp-witted, yet sensitive Matilda fights to truly be her own person and fit in with her peers, she finds herself in a position she never expected, and that's at the heart of the movie. Matilda the Musical was written by Dennis Kelly from his script for the stage version and of course, adapted from Dahl's book, and directed by Matthew Warchus. It is thoroughly in the macabre spirit of the source material, and it's really great stuff for a family to watch together, which you can do on Netflix, although it did have a theatrical run. Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical.
Wow, very nice. You'd really like that.
My kids were in that play last summer, and they were in two age groups, so there were two separate plays. I had to see it no less than 15 times. If I never see Matilda again, it'll be too soon.
Oh, I love that. Absolutely.
No.
But Kim, was there singing? Was there dancing?
There was singing. There was dancing.
Her kids are good with the singing. The singing is something that really goes well in the McAllister family. By the way, mordantly is a ding word. Thank you very much.
Right.
Look, we're down to our last few seconds with you, Michael Snyder.
Let me squeeze one more in really quickly.
All right, real quick, please.
Okay, The Pale Blue Eye is a chilly but engrossing murder mystery with a literary historical twist. The setting is wintertime of 1830 at West Point. Chilly indeed. A cadet is found dead in the nearby woods, and after the corpse is brought to the academy, the in-house doc discovers the victim's heart has been cut out of the body. So the academy commander doesn't want this to have any blowback in Washington, so he enlists a hard-drinking retired cop to find the truth of what happened. And the boozed-up detective, Augustus Landor, who has lost his wife and daughter, is fantastic. A fantastic character played by Christian Bale, always a reliable choice for the role of a tormented loner. But this guy Landor gets a de facto assistant in a young cadet and fledgling poet, Edgar Allan Poe. That Poe, played by an appropriately creepy Harry Melling. And so this is not based on a true story, even though Poe was a real person. It's based on a novel called The Pale Blue Eye. And I really, they go on there, attempt to solve the crime, and danger and more death bedevil them. Moody and engrossing, terrific supporting cast, including Gillian Anderson, Charlotte Gainsbourg, and holy Corleone, Robert Duvall, even though they only get brief screen time. The director, Scott Cooper, who also wrote the script, did Crazy Heart, Antlers, Black Mass, and Hostels. This is not as good as any of them, but as moody, gloomy B-movie thrillers go, pretty good to watch at home for a couple hours on a cold winter night. And yes, The Pale Blue Eye is on Netflix.
Oh, Courtney might like that one.
Yeah, I think that is one that I could sit through, too. I don't do well sometimes with the murder, and definitely, Anyway, the Pale Blue Eye, though, that does seem like something I could do on Netflix. Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical is good for the whole family, unless you've seen it 15 times or 50 times, the way Kim
hit
has.
my Matilda limit. Nope.
That you can see on Netflix as well. Is that right, Michael Snyder?
Absolutely. And a third on Netflix coming right up here, right? White Noise.
White Noise. White Noise, though, you did not like that much. You felt
it disappointed me.
More noise than white, or more white than noise, whatever.
Not
you
enough.
just felt it. Not enough white, not enough noise, or whatever.
Just not enough.
Broker is the powerful film that you did like from the Japanese filmmaker. And you can see it with it's in Korean with subtitles, but it's another brilliant film from, I don't know how to say his name, but Correda. And A Man Called Otto, the Tom Hanks film. Michael says, see the original. This one is meh. Not awful, but it's in the meh category. He also reminds you that his best of 2022 can be seen in the Marina Times. Read Michael's best of 2022. If we have time, maybe next week, we'll do a little added content with you about your best of. I'd like to do that. It's sort of intriguing, we're kind of out of time now.
It's a slow week for new movies, so it would be a great week to cover a reflection of the previous year. So,
well, it would be fun.
You're down to 5% battery.
I know. I'm wrapping him up. Okay, I don't need to. All right. So, Michael, we adore you, and we love that you're here every Friday. Thank you.
Happy
really
New
great
Year.
takes. Yeah.
Happy New Year again to everybody. Go Niners. Super excited about my team this coming Sunday.
Come on. He comes and goes on a rainbow. Bye-bye.